Morning, everyone. So, Dragon's Den is this weekend. Matchups were released, and I have decided to choose three matchups, which I think are probably the most interesting of the first round, given the players playing in them. Several ETC guys, or former ETC guys, or ETC applicants, blah, blah, blah. Um, so, I picked three matches, quickly go over just what I think it looks like, maybe. You know, I'll probably give who I think is going to win it, but. So the first one is Keith versus Spragg. So we have Keith playing the Belgium Dark Elf list, which is really fast and really aggressive. And then we have Spragg playing, let's look, Demons with a big Maw, Omen, and then a bunch of small units. So looking back and forth, they both have pretty small units in general. They're both pretty fast. And neither has shooting, is what it seems like, right? None of this shoots. So to me, the first thing is magic. I think Spragg has the advantage here. Double Masters. He's going to have 8 spells. Pretty good spells. Divination's good versus the Krakens. They don't have regens or special saves, but still, it can do some damage. Evo, I don't know if it's the best versus Keith's army, like the snipes and stuff. They're okay versus Krakens, but you're not going to do like a ton of wounds to them. Keith's magic is, he keeps it simple in the magic phase. He has basically 4 spells, a giant Graves Call, which is, when it moves on a movement 18 thing, it's actually pretty deadly versus some of these units, given that Spragg's units are actually very small. But I think the other advantage, I'll say Keith, I like Keith in this matchup more because I think he's faster than Spragg's army. Spragg has a couple things that are pretty fast in the Hellhounds and Clawed Fiends, and these all Swift Stride, but Krakens, I believe they're close to the same speed, but they also do very well versus stomping on these small units. Like 5 Hellhounds can't kill a Kraken. Like, I guess in my head, right? What these two things on a charge kill a Kraken potentially. I don't even know if they do. I don't even know if the Clawed Fiends do. But these don't beat them, a Kraken. I don't think, and mathematically. Um, and having that advantage of one beats the other is really nice. And this Prince is a fucking issue, I think, for Spragg. The minute this guy gets up some wounds, he's going to be doing D3 wounds, charging with punchy strength 8. Omen's got to watch out. The Maul, I'm not sure how good he's going to be in this because he is another one that he's not the greatest fighter in the world. He is toughness 6. I don't know. I don't know what he's going to do. He could. I think he needs the magic to kind of help him, right? I just worry that 5 Yemen guys in the flank of any of these units, these 4, will kill it. Even the Brazen Beasts aren't that good, not on the charge. Or one magic missile brings them down, because they're just right. Like this unit is 3 wounds away from being just kind of useless against this kind of army. Blades of Nab are really good. They're cheap scoring units, and like I said, they'll probably kill. Did they go before? I think they go before dogs too, even if dogs charge, or at the same time. That's a lot of attacks. Oh, it's just a lot of speed on Keith's side versus kind of a lot of it's just not a lot of wounds on Spragg's. I think if Spragg's magic goes crazy, then maybe he can whittle down the right units and the Kraken start going down. And then while there's a lot of speed, there maybe isn't enough beef over here to kind of go through all this. Chaff wise, we have Furies, and then we have a million things here. Like any of this could be chaff. Like the Medusas. Even a Medusa, right? A Medusa charging the flank of 5 Hellhounds probably beats it and kills it, and probably holds up the 8-man unit. The Omen might go in the 8-man unit, though, to be fair. Yeah, it's King of the Hill, Refuse Flank. I don't know. I think the speed of Keith's army might be too much. If the magic of Spragg is on point and Rex Keith, that could be something. But these Krakens, if they get a nice charge off on either of these 2 units, I mean, what can't the Kraken kill? Aren't Hellhounds? They can be stomped, right? I don't know what kills Krakens easily, fast enough in this list to just not even the Maul in combat will kill Kraken in one round because this needs like 4 or 5s to hit. I don't know what the weapon skill is, and then like 3's to wound, and it doesn't have a save because it's distracting, so that's really good versus this. But lots of points here. If something like the Dread Prince gets in with a nice charge, and he has all these, he's strength 8, and he does D3 wounds, and he does like 4 wounds, 5, 6 wounds to the Maul, and then the Maul whiffs back because the guy has a 1-up save or something. Or he's taking a lot of wounds from potential magic here. Interesting. Not a lot of key stuff is stompable. This is all not stompable. Which matters for this guy. Seems like these poison attacks could be hella annoying too. Just like speed and pressure. I don't think 2 Furies is enough. That's my prediction. I actually think Keith will run through this army. Unless Sprague like turtles really hard. Even then I think Keith will get to it. But or he'll get the scenario. And then just win like 15 or 13-ish. I don't know if this list can go heads up to it though. Doesn't feel like these 2 models are enough to like, because it's like 1800 points here, right? So this is 900, 17. Oh, this is like 1700 points. 900, 2600, 28. The point is like I'm gonna assume the points are right, but yeah, I like Keith in this matchup. I think his speed and the fact that like 5 Dark Riders in the flank of 10 Myrmidons will at least hold them up and probably kill half the unit before they die. You know what I mean? Like, it's things like that where you're just like, there's not a lot of wounds over here, and they're not very tough wounds either. And they're just not big enough units to soak a fury of attacks. And like, he even has a Mana Core guy that makes the other guys reroll and stuff. So I think Heath will win this. I think so. And he knows how. He's played demons before, so he kind of knows how the rules work and has that advantage. But it should be a pretty good matchup. I'll be curious if I think Sprague might just play like in a corner and like try not to lose big, but not sure. So the next interesting matchup is Jeremy versus Ryan. So Jeremy's running a weird Warriors list with a Chimera Lord, 2 big Chosen Knights, big Warriors, Hellmaw, Fallen, Moorhounds, yep, some chaff, and 2 guys on Chariots, as well as a Master Evo with Plate. So let's see what we got. Stottle has vanguarding Mammoth Hunter, a Mammoth Hunter on a Rock with the banner. Reroll 1s, I believe, so that's pretty nice on the charge. A Shamanism guy, 8 Tribesmen, some small scoring units, Trappers for chaff, which are fine in this list. 2 other chaff. 4 Tuskers with great weapons, and 3 Slave Giants with great weapons. So the Slave Giants, in my opinion, are probably going to be key. So if we look at like threats, right? On this side, we have 3 Giants, 4 Tusker Cav, and this Mammoth Hunter on a Rock. So I'd say 5 really significantly large threats. And then on Jeremy's side, he has 2 Chariot guys, a Lord, and this kind of is a threat. I'm guessing, how's this? How does this do versus the Giant? This actually might one round the Giant if it charges full strength. But something like the Rock, I don't think it can fuck with the Rock on the charge. Maybe? If Ryan had more shooting or something, if he had like Tomology magic, I guess Shamanism magic is really good because if you do get the charge off and you get some negative buffs off, it actually starts to really fuck with these units depend a lot on rolling to hit or rolling to wound. So if you mess with that and they don't have rerolls up, shit's gonna happen. Master Evocation, does that help? So Alchemy Magic versus this list. This is not the greatest. It's not good versus this. It's okay versus this. This guy has Dragon Fire Gem because he took that version of it. So no regen. This guy has Obsidian Rock, which isn't great for the snipes either because they're -2 to cast, so they become pretty high to cast. So maybe, so it's not the best. It's not the best list to snipe against. Maybe the Shamanism guy over a couple turns, but I don't know if you're gonna have the time. Maybe you just try to Hellfire down the Sabertooths and stuff. Interesting, interesting. Hellfire's a good, but no Veil Walker kind of sucks. You're not gonna, that -6 range is gonna make it harder to Veil Walker early. I thought there'd be an issue with his mage being in the 5 Fallen or the 15 Warriors, but there's not enough shooting on Stoddle's side to take advantage of that. Like if you had 2 hunters that could like run behind and like one could shoot the unit and kill one, and then one could pick out the mage or something, or if you had like Thaumaturgy with like the breath weapon where you breath weapon the unit and then you shoot it with your spear or something like that, right? But that doesn't seem like it's gonna happen. There's not a lot of chaff. Can a chariot barbarian kill a giant on the charge? Giant have 7 wounds. Very unlikely, actually. So very unlikely, and then the giant just fucks you up back. So, like, that's the kind of, like, those are little maths that are very interesting when it comes to not even chaff wars, but kind of small unit wars where if your unit can stand in front of his unit and he can't charge you because he'll die, and maybe it's not a guaranteed die because he has a, what, 2-up save? Oh, he's fucked up. He's gonna get fucked by the giant, right? Because if you go in, you're probably not doing 7 wounds. 3 attacks, 2 attacks. 1, 2. Yeah, you're probably only doing like 5 wounds, and then he has his however many attacks back. 10 attacks back at strength 7. You might kill him in the second round. He might not kill you because he only needs 4s to hit. 4s and 2s. Yeah, that's an interesting. I think giants go down a lot faster than I give credit for. So, example, Chosen Knights of Greed charging a giant. You actually probably want to go great weapons potentially there because you'll attack at the same time as the giant, and the giant will lose attacks because unless you think you can kill it on the charge, which I don't think 15 strength 5 do. It's very no, they don't do it. But you have to get wounds on it before. Huh. This is an interesting one because like there's moments where I'm like I see the giants and I see the rocks, and I'm like, okay, that's really strong. Versus warriors, because if it charges them, it can do a lot of damage. But I think it's going to depend on, can you get the giant in his flanks? Do you have, does their superior movement and mobility beat out the warrior units? This is a close one to me. The Chimera Lord isn't at his best against this list particularly, because he, Immortal Gauntlet, there's like no wards. There's not that many ward saves other than the Mammoth Hunter General. There's no really too much armor other than the Mammoth Hunter General. So it's like, yeah, that one guy doesn't want to face the Chimera Lord, but besides that, it's like he's strength 5, which is nice. He's not like dead versus other things, but it doesn't have the same advantage of some. Like he doesn't just fuck up a giant on the charge. He's definitely not guaranteed to kill it, but he is hits back on 5. So that's like the thing with the giant, right? Like you go in with kind of Chosen Lord, and even if you do 6 wounds, which you're not likely to do with his setup, but if you're taking 11 hits back, I think his guy is a 3-up save in combat and a 4-up war. If you take 11 hits back, he hits on 5s, so he hits like 3. You have a ward save for 1.5, and then maybe he doesn't wound 1, or you have a 6-up armor, or you didn't have a 6-up armor, 1-up. So maybe it's like 1 wound, maybe 2 on average to you, and you'll kill him in 2 rounds. So And if you charge, you might have a chance to kill him in one round. Um, yeah, maybe I don't know. It's gonna come down to you play. I don't like that. Like the only problem with the ogre list, which is good versus a lot of things, is it doesn't feel like it has this any range advantage in any sort of way, and he kind of has to go in to get points, and then there's just enough speed on the other side to kind of say, "Hey, I'm gonna charge you, um, and kill you potentially." Oh, depends on how they play. Which list would I rather be? I think after looking through it more, I probably prefer the Warriors in this case. Um, I think this is one of the better ogre lists for that warrior list. Because he only has the one hunter that runs around on his own. Every time, I mean, I know shamanism is good, but I just prefer Tomology on it. I just think it opens up so many. Like if he had Tomology and he had magic missiles to help wear down some units, or the breath weapon to help, and then you still have minus toughness, minus strength in combat, as well as your hereditary, and then maybe I probably wouldn't take Comet in this one. I would probably take the snipe or something to try to maybe snipe the mage. But like, yeah, there's just so many. I just Shamanism has some great buffs. I just prefer more magic missiles sometimes. Huh. I can see this being close though, because I think if you play well, like I did a lot of math of like straight up, but if you play well or you chaff right and you hit with two giants at the same time, or you chaff, or you hit in the flank, or these warriors get hit in the flank and then they get fucking stomped to death and attacked to death, or they get impact hits to death, because there's +1 to hit them. So if a giant flanks them, they're gonna get their fucking 6 attacks against the giant, hitting on 3s, wounding on 3s. So they do like 3 wounds, and the giant's gonna hit back needing 4s and 2s, and then stomp them for another couple wounds, and then who knows if they break or what happens there. Because I mean, this unit's not cheap. This unit's the same price as 2 giants, so it's not really fair to say one giant loses to him because they're the same price as 2. Um, if some of these get charged by giants, is the mage going to get killed by something fast? Like, there's a lot of pressure over here to deal with, and we'll see we'll see if they play that way or if they play like a bitch. Because it is King of the Hill, and he doesn't have many scoring units. He's 3, he's 4. Yeah, I don't even know. Maybe 10-10. I don't think it'll be a 10-10. I think somebody will. I think it's an evenish matchup where somebody will go down hard, because I don't think they're going to play like a bitch. So, it's an interesting one. I'd be curious how that goes. And then the last one, the matchup that's been changing quite a bit since Travis was going to play Mince, and Mince drops a Travis was going to play the Ringer, and then Lance dropped, who was playing Phil, and so now Travis is playing Phil. So we have Furion's high list from ETC versus Phil, who created this list, which is half ETC-ish, half. It's basically an ETC army without the divination. The rest is pretty typical stuff, it seems like. The interesting part, so Travis obviously isn't Furion, but he does talk to him, and Furion did crush 3 Undying Dynasty players at ETC, including like teams of Spain and Germany's players who are really good. So clearly the list has plays to be made against Undying Dynasties. It's not, I guess, a red for Furion's list. That being said, I don't think he played versus this many Ushabti archers. I think he only played versus 15 once or 13 once and not 19. So the max amount, basically. So let's see. So we know Furion's list, he has a dragon, he has a divination guy that's basically a really effective magic phase all in one little model. He has the guy with the silver sliver of blazing dawn, which is a really nice weapon. especially against me and stuff. 20 spears, 5 reavers, big sea guard, some Ryman Knights, 21 line guard, and 3 sea guard reapers. All right, that's good. And then we have a Sacred Hourglass Evocation Mage, Cosmo Mage, Crown Affairs, I think gives his weapon skill, and 1 Architect. So 1 Architect for 4 potential units for regen, so we'll see how that works out. So I think it's like, Phil's shooting's very good. Travis has good shooting too. I mean, I think it's sometimes underappreciated the amount of shots like Seaguard, Reavers, and the Reapers can do. Especially backed up by a pretty solid magic phase of divination where you do your magic phase is probably something like Hereditary, the D6 wound thing, Faith Judgment, and the 2D6 one, all of which can put some wounds on Shabti Archer. So I believe Shabti Archers, if I'm not mistaken, the way healing works is if you're the Hierophant, if you buff anybody, you can heal anybody within range. But if you're not the Hierophant, it's only the unit you buff. So as far as buffs go, he has a Cosmo buff, potentially 2 Cosmo buffs, probably taking 2, and then what? 2 for 2 buffs, reroll a wound, reroll a hit. It's not the same level of buffs as a Divination Mage goes, I don't believe. Snipes in this matchup, I don't seem like they're going to be super important. I don't know how the range early. Yeah, I don't know how good snipes are going to be in this. It's not good against the dragon. It's kind of good against the Queen's Champion guy, though. He has a ward save versus it. Yeah, I don't know if snipes are going to be the key to this matchup at all. I don't know how much time he's going to have before Travis goes in and tries to just kill him. Because you put the pressure on with this list. Know what's really good against in this kind of matchup? The Hereditary spell for High Elves. It's a really good spell, period. But given something like Ushabti Archers, right? They're probably only doing 2 or 3 hits a unit, maybe a little more with rerolls. You know, maybe they're getting through. You know, to the dragon example, if they all shoot the dragon without any buffs, they only do a wound and a half or so, and then you factor in the Hereditary, you might not do any wounds with all the shooting. There's more shooting on the chariots and stuff, so it could be really nasty if things go down early. I don't think Travis can sit there, but damn, that's an interesting matchup. Like, I feel like High Elves are one of those armies that, on paper, it's hard to see the power, and then you get it on the board, and you see this Seaguard unit with 30-inch range in the middle with a guy with a thing, you know, the spear, and he's going to do like 1 billion hits to you at strength 5. And you start to realize, oh shit, you know, this is not as, it looks a lot easier on paper. While I think Tomb Kings look a little, maybe the opposite. They look better on paper. They're obviously the best, but, you know, sometimes it almost looks even better on paper, and then you put them on the field and they're very blocky, and it's a lot harder to cover the ground they need, and, you know, put the units, very big footprints in the skeleton chariots and the Shabdi archers. So those Tomb Scorpions, I think, will be interesting here too, because, like, they are Phil's chaff, other than the 3 vultures. So you have 2 choices, right? Your choice is, if Travis is pressing on you, you got to hope they come in and you can chaff him with them, or you can go after his shooting in the back with them. So it's kind of like, it's like you have to make a choice if you're pressured, right? You have one choice of that: you either chaff him or you go after his shooting. And there's a chance that, like, they don't all come in at the right time, or they come in too early, or Travis, you know, who knows what's going to happen with them. It's one of those, like, it's like unreliable chaff, because you don't, like, yeah, you roll 3 of them, they should come in early, but you never know, really. And yeah, they're good at going in the back, but, like, what happens? There's not much else to get in the way. I actually don't. I wonder how does the shooting do against? Can he rip apart a shop unit in a turn? With magic and shooting, he can probably start tearing down some Ushabtis and stuff as needed. Wonder what he'll shoot at. Chariot's always scary. I think I'm gonna always go with my boy Travis, because I know he's gonna get enough help in the matchup department from Furion himself to help him know what to do at least. So he'll be prepared at the very least. And I've never seen this particular. I'm curious how it does without Div. Would Div be good against Travis? I mean, it's always good against dragons, even with the Obsidian Rock. Lion Guard. Don't do double wounds to Shabdi because he didn't. So that's one thing. He didn't take snakes, which actually died to Lion Guard. But Lion Guard are still pretty good at killing things in general, so maybe not chariots. Well, if they get the charge. Oh, are they double wounds to chariots? I think they are. Large constructs. Actually, don't know. Maybe not. Probably not. I think it's large beasts and stuff. Anyway, I'm going to go with Travis on this one. But I think these are the three matchups to kind of watch in general. This. So I do think Keith has the advantage here. I think this is even, but it's going to be bloody. And I think this is going to also potentially be bloody. But I'm going with Travis because it's one of those ones like I feel like if it works and Travis gets in there, it's just gonna fold the Tomb Kings. But if it bounces, then he might just die really badly. Not 100% sure. Because scoring units is only what this, and this, which isn't the greatest for King of the Hill unless he plans to run forward at Travis. And Travis has 1, 2, 3, 4 scoring units as well, but they're on the aggressive side. Like they want to be fighting more. So interesting. It's the great part about ninth. You never know who's like you can't just pick it based on lists. Like I can make arguments for both sides of why I think this list is better than this list, or this list is better than this list, or he's gonna win, or he's gonna win. And at the end of the day, you gotta play the game and have the skill, right? It's not one in the just in the build your army phase. It's one on the table. So we'll see how these go out. Anyway, thanks for watching.